Hello, welcome to SPL Mixing. My name is Daniel Jason Booth. Sonible have released the Smart DeEss plugin. I'll walk you through how this thing works and we'll try a few examples on some speech. What I've done is I've taken sibilants and plosives, which is what this plugin is capable of processing, and I've just read out some of the words that have predominantly those types of sounds in them. You've got your S, Z, Ch, Sh, Z, P, T, K, B, D, and G. On the left, I've got the process recording of all the sibilants you just saw, and then on the right is all the plosives. I'll just give you a quick taste of those. Sizzle, hiss, miss, glass, cross. Pop, top, hop, cap, lamp. Tap, cat, hat, mat, sat. Kick, clock, cook, book, look. You get the idea. So once you start to play audio, it will start automatically looking for sibilants and plosives in it. This will also work for singing. But for the purposes of today, I'm just going to focus on these types of sounds in speech. Pop, top, hop, cap, lamp. Tap, cat, hat, mat, sat. Pop, top, hop, cap, lamp. Tap, cat, hat, mat. So these are the settings that it's decided to come up with. Let's have a tour of this plugin. So if we want to reanalyze the voice, we can do that here, which is using the AI. We've got bypass, we've got reset, sibilant and plosive sections down here, which we'll get into shortly, which are affected by these settings here. We've got all of our metering on this side, including the spectral shaping. We've got our maximum gain reduction here. We've also got these controls here, which we don't have access to because we need to flip over into split band. Now what this does is it allows you to adjust the sidechain detection for the different ranges for the sibilant and the plosives. So at the moment, the sibilant range is set to 1.3 kilohertz up to 18 kilohertz. We can also adjust that over here if we like. And the same goes for plosives. So we can adjust the range of that and we can listen to the sidechain. Tap, 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 lamp. Now, if we want to listen to what the plugin is removing, we can go into the difference signal. I'm just going to go back to the start. So if you really want to fine tune it, you can listen to that and see what it's taking out and make a decision on whether you like it or not. You can also do that here by focusing on just the plosives or focusing on just the sibilants. You can also turn those sections on and off. So if you don't want it to process plosives, you can turn that off. If you don't want it to process sibilants, same thing. Now, the suppression tool here is how much of the S's you want to remove. If you want to sound like you've got a lisp, then you can crank it up to 100%. Sizzle, hiss, miss, glass, cross. Of course, if you want to adjust how deep that goes, you can go all the way down to -24. Sizzle, hiss, miss, glass, cross. So it sounds like you've got a lisp and you can't pronounce your S's. The shaping tool is allowing you to do full band or spectral. Sizzle, hiss, miss, glass, sizzle, hiss, miss. So that one's full range, but as soon as you want to have the signal EQ'd automatically, you can adjust the shaping. It's going to use dynamic EQ to remove what it thinks are the biggest culprits. And the same goes for the shaping tool in the plosives here, of course, restricted to this range. Unless, of course, you go to full range and it will just do the entire spectrum. Sizzle, hiss, miss, glass, cross, buzz, fizz. So it's really up to you what mode you want to use. I find both of them quite useful. The full range is pretty good, I must say. The one thing I will say is that I'm not a huge fan of the sibilant shaping. Maybe like 20% tends to sound good to my ears. So as an example, let's go 100%. Focus on the tonality of the S's. Sizzle, hiss, miss, glass, cross. Okay, and then if I take it to full range, sizzle, hiss, miss, glass, cross. To me, that sounds a little bit more natural. And then maybe a little bit of tonal shaping. Sizzle, hiss, miss, glass, cross. tends to just soften some of the more prevalent and more resonant frequencies that are in there. That's the way I like to deal with the sibilants using this plugin. Now, before we go too far, I just want to say if you enjoy this content, it would mean the world to me if you were to hit subscribe, if you like these walkthrough type videos. And also, if there's anything that you would like me to do, please leave a comment. I'm always looking for ideas. Anyway, back to the video. Then we've got sharp, balanced, and soft. The sharp will soften mainly the mid and lows. Balanced will be balanced. And then the soft will tend to soften the top end. Sizzle, hiss, miss. Sizzle, hiss, miss. You can hear it's taking a lot more of the top end out there. Sizzle, hiss, miss. And that's the other extreme there. So the soft is the most brutal on the sibilants. So if you have something really sibilant heavy, then maybe that's your setting. Personally, I like the balanced setting, and that tends to get me what I want. As far as processing plosives, this is not something we can do in a normal de-esser plugin. Often what I find is that P's and B's are pretty abrupt. So a faster setting might be the way to go. And it also depends on how it lingers. One thing I would love to have here is more control over the attack and the release. What I find is that I tend to gravitate towards the faster settings, the mid and the fast. And that's just because it tends to catch the plosives a lot more. And what I like too is that when you've got the max gain reduction, it allows you to get a better balance, I think, because you can dial these down a little bit further. It just gives you a greater range of which that you can play with those suppression controls. So that's kind of my tip on how to get the most out of this plugin. Let's switch over to the plosive section and have a listen. Pop, top, hop, cap, lamp, tap, cat, hat, mat, sat. And if I just bypass it, pop, top, hop, cap, lamp. So you can hear some of those plosives are coming in that come after those pops. Pop, top, hop, cap, lamp. What you can do too is if you find that those breaths are not being picked up by the plugin, you can make it a bit slower. One thing I would like to see in a future update is to have the max gain reduction so that a separate control for the plosive range and a separate control for the sibilants. But as I said earlier, you just have to play with the ranges to get the amount of suppression that you want. And it just means that you're probably going to end up a bit lower on the sibilant side. Or you can just run 2 instances of the plugin. It's up to you. Let's go to a different spot. Bib, bob, cob, rib, tub. Bib, bob, cob, rib, tub. Did, nod, rod, sad, bed. Gig, log, jog, bog, bag. Bib, bob, cob, rib, tub. So it's doing a nice job there of just taking a bit of the edge off of those plosives. It should make it easier to process the voice even further with downstream processing. So let's try and find a setting that works for everything. Sizzle, hiss, miss, glass, cross. Sizzle, hiss. That's a good improvement. I like that. Sizzle, hiss, miss, glass, cross. Buzz, fizz, quiz, freeze, zigzag. Chip, hatch, match, watch, bench. Ship, fish, wish, bush, crash. Measure, vision, pleasure, decision, azure. Pop, top, hop, cap, lamp. Tap, cat, hat, mat. Kick, clock, cook, book, look. Bib, bob, cob, rib, tub. Did, nod, rod, sad, bed. Sizzle, hiss, miss, glass, cross. So before and after. Sizzle, hiss, miss, glass, cross. Sizzle, hiss, miss, glass, cross. Bib, bob, cob, rib, tub. Bib, bob, cob, rib, tub. Go check it out at Sonible.com. I don't think you'll be disappointed with this one. Thank you for watching and happy mixing.